Hey y'all, I want to give you a quick 2 minutes on why you want to vote yes on Amendment B. Amendment B, as you may know, repeals the Gallagher Amendment. You've probably heard, oh, Gallagher, wait, that's the measure that's cutting our school funding, or that's the one that's hurting our local fire districts or our nurses. That's all true. Some people want to know, wait, how does this thing work? So let me give you a quick 2 minutes. Gallagher was put in place almost 40 years ago in 1982, and what it did is create a formula that said 55% of all the property tax in the state must come from commercial business, only 45% can come from residential. Well, back in 1982, that made sense because the residential rate was 30%, commercial was 29%, they were about the same, and half of the state's real estate value was in homes and half was in businesses. Well, a lot's changed since 1982. One, I'm not wearing MC Hammer pants anymore, but also Colorado looks very, very different. And the biggest thing is 80% of the property value in the state is now coming from residential. Only 20% is commercial. That means that 20% has to carry 55% of the property value. So 29% commercial rate stayed in place, but this residential rate has been driven down and down and down from 30% to now it's only 7%. It'll drop down to even 5% next year if we don't repeal this amendment, which means small businesses are paying almost 6 times the rate. So that's obviously a problem that we have to change. People will say, well, what happens if we just don't pass it? Can't we just keep it all the same? Here's what happens if you don't pass Amendment B. What you'll get is right away next year, a $300 million tax increase will come into play, and that will hit 90% of Coloradans statewide. And even worse, at the same time, you'll see a $700 million cut to the most essential public services, firefighters, nurses, teachers, massive cuts. Well, what happens if we do pass Amendment B? If we do pass Amendment B, the great news is all of our tax rates are frozen. The residential tax rate, frozen. The commercial tax rate, frozen. And neither of them can ever go up without a vote of the people. So that's the option you have. But the deeper question is, in this moment, with the 2020 we've had, where all of us have had to lean on a nurse to take care of our mom through COVID, or a firefighter to come and respond, or a teacher who's managing homeschool and in person at the same time, do we want to, in this moment, turn our back on those public servants who have had our back all year long? I say no. And that's why we're asking you to vote yes on Amendment B. B for firefighters, B for teachers, B for nurses, B for Colorado. Vote yes on Amendment B.